so I can mention it. I can mention it tomorrow. A very good morning to you all. Thank you for tuning in here on Chucky TV. You can see behind me the players are ready. We are about to start the first match of our next tournament, of course, the WPL, the Palm Beach Open, after a thrilling weekend yesterday where Richard Mille were able to get their second title of the season. No rest for the wicked, as we say. We're about to, as I say, get on with the first of our two group matches. We have two lined up for you today, I should say, Monday the 15th of March. And out on the field, we have Casablanca leading the way there with Grant Ganzi at number 1 in his normal position, playing off 3 goals. At number 2, Juancito Bellini at 4 goals. Then we have Barto Castagnola, the 9 goaler, at number 3, and Juan Martinero, the 10 goaler, playing the backdoor position. White Birch with Chris Brandt leading his team with 0 goals. Number 2, Facu Llorente, 7 goal. And then we have 2 8 goalers, Mariano Aguirre and Santi Toccalino. As the name would suggest, the Palm Beach Open, no advantage given. Casablanca, of course, coming into this game with 26 goals, and White Birch with 3. So they're going to have quite a tall order here to try and make a mark in this opening game in Bracket A. Later on this afternoon, of course, Bracket B or Group B, we will have Pampanorte versus Santa Rita, and that will also be coming to you live, of course, here on Chucky TV from Jan Pamela. Ball is thrown into play. Our 2 mounted umpires this morning, Esteban Ferrari and Federico Martelli. Third man, Mr. Gaston Dorignac, and I'm flanked here to the left of me with the chief umpire, Mr. Steve Lane, and from the United Kingdom, Mr. Mark Holmes. 4 eyes can always see better than 2, and then you have 6 professional umpires here on the field. You really can be rest assured that there'll be no mistakes made. Here we go then. The first ball has been thrown in, and both teams very quickly, getting off to a flying start. And it looks like Casablanca have a chance to break away here. Castagnola on a very, very fast pony. He gets a bit of traffic there from Toccalino. Castagnola switches that shot to the near side. First run on goal, ever so slightly going wide. So with 5:47 on the clock, still no score, but very early on, a very, very quick pace being displayed here by both teams. Well, there was a whistle, I'm just being told. And umpire, I think that was Federico Martinelli, dropping the ball on the penalty force spot. Steve, did you see what happened just there? Well, that's the only thing that would make sense to me as well. It could have been that ball, when Barto came down the field, that Santi Toccalino, whilst he was trying to clear it, might have got a piece of it, which will have meant that the ball would have gone over his own back line. And that, of course, in polo means a safety 60. So a chance here now for the man with the number 4, Juan Martinero, the only 10 goaler here this morning, to make the first dent in the score for Casablanca. That is straight as you like, no mistake. Juan Martinero showing us all how it's done and getting the first score of this game. So as I was saying, we have, of course, our second match this afternoon, Group B. Pampanorte will be up against Santa Rita, and of course, the Palm Beach Open, once again, made up of 8 teams competing for this trophy. Now, we are very, very happy that this tournament, of course, is taking place, because it was around about this time last year when COVID, of course, made life very awkward for all of us. And I'm pretty sure that this year we will be able to finish this tournament from start to finish. Let me just tell you who is in Group B. Obviously, Casablanca, Seminole Casino, Coconut Creek, White Birch, and Richard Mille. 2 of those teams are already out on the field. Group B, we have Santa Rita Polo Farm, Great Oaks, Tamara, and Pampanorte. Again, like I said, that game this afternoon at 4 o'clock. And then the action continues. You might want to make a note. On Wednesday, 10:30 again in the morning and 4 in the afternoon. The first game for Group A will be Richard Mille will be taking on Seminole Casino, Coconut Creek. And then in the afternoon, Great Oaks versus Tamara. Action continues as we see Juancito Bellini there trying to make himself available. Of course, they change ends after every goal is scored, and on the far side, Castagnola, but just with one defending play. He's just holding back ever so slightly, waiting for Ganzi there, who was coming out on a flyer. Grant Ganzi, wasting no time, wanting to get number 2 score on the scoreboard, and I think with that little cut shot, ever so slightly, he had just the right pace, the perfect timing. I think he didn't quite hit that ball. The connection wasn't perfect. So Grant, again, no sign of any Monday morning blues. Getting straight into the action. Ball goes over the back line. White Birch will have it. 4:15 left on the clock as that ball is hit back into play. White Birch finding a little bit of space there on the far side. Told to leave it. Wants to take one of those defending players with him to try and open up the space. To get over the halfway line now, tucked in behind number 2, Facu Llorente. Remember, we've got 2 8-goal players out there. Mariano Aguirre and Santi Toccolino. Facu playing off a very, very solid 7. Another whistle will stop play at 3:46 on the clock. Standing on the ball is the call on that play, and that is very convenient for the players also at this time. Like I say, around about half a chuck of play to go for a courtesy change. Wind has very much died down from what it was the last few weeks, the last 10 days, 2 weeks. We had a lot of wind here in southern Florida. That has died down. The sun coming out very strong today. Forecast 29 plus degrees. That's in the low to mid 80s. And of course, the players will be well advised to make the most of any courtesy polo change which they are allowed to do. Back out on the field, the first man on a fresh set of legs. The man who just now had a big chance on scoring that second goal for Casablanca, Grant Ganzi. And if you tuned in yesterday, we had, over the whole weekend, we had a lot of polo, some great action, of course, taking place at Grand Champions Polo Club. We had the second final of our 4 WPL tournaments. And Richard Mille, I'm sure, will still be very much celebrating this morning after their second win yesterday. It was a repeat of the first trophy, the first tournament, the All-Star Challenge, which Richard Mille also won, beating Hawaii Life yesterday. They got their second title, and knowing Richard Mille, and especially the Cobra, he'll be wanting to try and get his hat-trick. Never been done before for a team to win 3 tournaments back-to-back. So let's see how they will fare in this tournament. I'm sure the confidence that they picked up yesterday after that second tournament will be very, very useful going into this tournament. Remember, we have, of course, the 4th and final tournament coming up of the WPL season 2021, the Triple Crown, and then towards the end of April, starting on the 23rd, 24th, and through to the 25th, the WPL Miami Beach World Cup in Miami Beach. And that's a nice solid drive from White Birch. Santi Toccolino getting the first score. Same goal as scored before there by Juan Martinero. Again, from a penalty situation. The first was a safety 60 as that ball had gone over the back line. This, of course, a standard penalty for 60 yards, the distance to the goal mouth. And for those of you who are watching polo for the first time, I will, of course, give you some key facts and figures that you might find useful watching here on Chucky TV. Any questions you might have, please drop us a note. There is a little text box for any questions, any comments, and we will endeavour to get back to you with any questions you might have. White Birch, of course, as is the case in polo, will always change, or both teams will change ends after a goal is scored. And this will be the man with the number 4, Juan Martinero, trying to feed the ball up to Juancito Bellini. But White Birch very, very alive here, making sure that they can try and stop Casablanca. They know they're up against on a handicap, slightly stronger team there. Remember, Casablanca coming into this game playing off 26 goals. White Birch coming in off 23. But as it is an open, no advantage given. Oh, nice deflection there. Nice pick up here from, once again, Santi Toccolino. Toccolino, there are 2 players ahead of him. Juancito will send that one back to the halfway line where Facu Llorente was just waiting, anticipating that ball to come. Nice bit of stick work there in midair from the Tengola. Juan Martinero wants to send the ball out to the far side where he's found Ganzi, but Ganzi, it looked like, well, that's what I can only deduce the whistle being for. Already established on that line, it would appear, was Facu Llorente. Let's see if that is the case here. I've got Chief Umpire Steve Lane sitting next to me. Steve, what did you make of that?
Yeah, right-of-way violation. He was near side and didn't flatten out on the line.
Thank you very much for just verifying that. So, good call by the umpires. 2:06 left on the clock. Possession once again now for White Birch. A penalty 5A. A hit from the spot will be has been awarded, and it'll be taken by Tocalino. And the way White Birch have played in this first half, if you will, of this first chukker, very much a game plan to which they are playing. That pass again, nicely done, and that might go all the way through. And that was, I believe, player with the number 1, Chris Brandt, getting that first goal. Nice little team play there. It all started more or less on the halfway line with a shot to goal from Santi Tocalino. Chris Brandt then finding himself after had one little stop. I think it was Martin Aguirre. Came off his mallet, just tapped it forward, and then Chris Brandt had to just basically put it between the uprights. So 2-1 with a minute and a half left to play here in the first chukker. Ball comes out, and again, it's a good pick-up and a win here for Facu Llorente for White Birch. Leaves that one behind. Tocalino, he knew was behind him. He would change direction, picking it up, sending Casablanca on a bit of a wild goose chase here. Nice little bit of stick work there from Castagnola. Bellini told to leave it as Juan Martin will turn it. Just holds back a little bit to send one up the field. But you can see White Birch doing a great job here in marking their opponent. Ganzi slams on the brakes there. We'll pick this up with a little tap as he tries to centre the ball. Oh, there was a stick that came through. Aguirre just put his mallet down, tried to steal it, and he did well stealing it off Ganzi. So every inch of the field being fought for here. White Birch, as I say, they know what they're up against. There comes the under the neck shot. And that was on the... Yep, I was going to say, that looked like it was off, came off the mallet there of Barto Castagnola. So Castagnola getting the equaliser. And as I said, both of these teams not wasting any time. There is the horn you might have heard in the background and the subsequent whistle from the umpire, Esteban Ferrari. 2 goals apiece. A fiery start here of Bracket A in this, the first round match between Casablanca and White Birch of the Palm Beach Open. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back, everybody, and a very good morning to you if you've just tuned in here on Chucky TV. Great to have you with us. We're coming to you live from field number 2 at Jan Palmer. This is the opening game in Group A, or Bracket A, between Casablanca in the pale blue shirts, and they're up against White Birch in the white shirts with the green strip across their chest. It's been a very open and a very exciting first chukker. Both teams hitting the target twice, leaving the field at the end of chukker number 1 with 2 goals apiece. And White Birch not at all fazed by the fact that they're coming into this opening game with a slight deficit of 3 goals. Remember, Casablanca coming in off 26. Ganzi at the front there. Grant Ganzi with 3 goals, Juancito Bellini with 4. And then we have a combination of 19 goals, 9 bringing you, of course, Barto Castagnola, and then Juan Martinero, the 10-goaler, playing at number 4. White Birch, 23 with Chris Brandt leading. He's already scored with 0 goals. And then we have a 7-goaler, Facu Llorente, Mariano Argueri, and Santi Tocolino, both with 8 goals. And we have had the next goal. Barto Castagnola wasting no time there, getting his 2nd goal of this match, putting his team Casablanca back in the lead by 3 goals to 2. As I said, they left the field 2 goals apiece. And White Birch, highly concentrated, highly motivated, want to make a dent, as I say, into the first round match here. There's a solid under the neck shot, looking, and he's found Barto Castagnola. Has to slam on the brakes. Castagnola finds a little gap, weaving his way through those white defenders. He's got 3 of them, all trying to make life difficult. That ball was sent up to the danger zone. He was intended there for Juancito Bellini, who has an appeal, which is very quickly overruled. Players playing on as they chase it back down the field. It'll be the number 4, Juan Martinero for Casablanca, who turns that one around, but into the lap of Mariano Argueri, who has got, he had Chris Brandt in his sights there at the front. He was waiting for that ball to come. So again, just like they did in that opening chukker, pressing where they can, fighting for every inch of the field. As Facu Llorente having a little bit of a handful there in the corner with, I think that was Barto Castagnola, ball going over the back line. So very hard fought here, both teams not wanting to give away anything. Big respect, I think, that they have for each other, despite the 3-goal difference here. And Casablanca will not have a walk in the park here against White Birch, who are playing very well. Their positioning play, absolutely top-notch. So I think you're in for a very exciting first-round match here, as Ganzi just sends that one all the way down the field, and there really wasn't much in it. It was a nice attempt to take a long shot onto that goal. He had a similar opportunity in that first chukker. And I'm pretty sure, Steve, you'll agree with me, 3rd time lucky. I'm sure that goal with Grant Ganzi is going to be with us very, very soon. Just under 4.5 minutes left to play. 3 goals to 2 after that 2nd goal, brought to you by Castagnola. Reminding me just to let you know that, of course, this afternoon the action continues 3 p.m. local Florida time, local World Polo League time. Make sure you join us then, where Pampa Norte will be taking on Santa Rita. They, of course, playing in Group B. Nice little pick up there once again from the halfway line. Castagnola is intercepted. Argueri, the 8-goaler, immediately has a man on. Juan Martinero. A little bit of support coming in there in the form of Barto Castagnola, but White Birch have it again. There's the pass intended to. It's a little bit short as it's sent back down the field by Juancito Bellini. Ganzi is there as well, but it's picked up by Barto Castagnola. Castagnola sends a beautiful ball right in front of the jaws of that goal mouth. A backhand, a very difficult angle to Juan Martinero. Great play and great action here from Casablanca. Again, ever so slightly denied. And at 3:29, the whistle being blown there, allowing the players, as they were so close to the pony lines, to get themselves on a fresh pony. Great job also so far, as always, being done by our 2 mounted umpires, Esteban Ferrari and Federico Martelli. Gaston Dorignac, the man in the studio, the 3rd man for any potential challenges. Remember, both teams, or all teams I should say, in the WPL get a challenge per half. Remember, that challenge cannot be brought forward if you don't lose it in the first half, you do not automatically get 2 chukkers in the second half. And this pony change, of course, also a new rule that was introduced between seasons in order to keep the flow going, the momentum high. Players have a maximum of 45 seconds to get themselves on a fresh mount. And I have to say, Steve, I'm sure you'll agree with me, that really has done well. The players have been very quick to come out on time to allow play to continue.
Yes, absolutely. We had to regroup on that and make it a little bit quicker. Only one courtesy change per period, and all the players are very appreciative of it.
Great. Here we go. And as you can see, the players are back out on the field. Thank you. Great to have you with us, as always, Mr. Steve Lane, Chief Umpire here at Grand Champions Polo Club. White Birch. Oh, that looked a little bit too close to comfort there. The umpires being very lenient on that play, allowing play to continue. As on the far side, once again, a nice shot there from Aguirre, and all of a sudden White Birch find themselves deep in Casablanca territory, charging down the line as I think the 10-goaler might be the culprit here, crossing that line. Firmly established was Santiago Tocalino. Now, Steve, is this the sort of play you might expect them to go for a challenge? I mean, it was, I think, a pretty open-shut case here. I'd be surprised if Casablanca were to challenge that. I think the umpire there just giving a little bit of a definition as to exactly what happened there. So White Birch with a chance here and a penalty 3, it looks like. So a 40-yard distance to the goal. It's an open goal, remember. Well, I might have to correct myself. It's a penalty 2, so 30 yards the distance. Remember, we are watching this or sitting here on the halfway line, and there's only 10 yards in it between the penalty 2 and the penalty 3. But yet again, it's an open goal, and Tocalino will send this one through the uprights, making no mistake, getting his second. And once again, the equaliser here for White Birch. 2:43 on the clock as they come back to the centre for the next throw-in. Very difficult to tell at this stage who might have the slight upper hand. Both teams coming out here very, very focused, very, very strong. Of course, all very well mounted and playing on. I know some of the players love coming down here to Jan Pamela. Really nice field. And again, a big compliment and a thank you to the ground staff turning out this field so well. We've had a lot of matches being played. I'd like to also remind you that tomorrow we will be starting another tournament outside the World Polo League, the $50,000 World Cup. That'll be starting tomorrow, and we of course will be broadcasting that also here on Chukka TV. But now let's go back to the action. That's a nice little play here as Mariano Aguirre here gets the pass, and a little bit too late there as Barto came through. Aguirre getting his first of the morning. And I'm talking about the hot temperatures. Well, I think we're quite lucky that we have a couple of scattered clouds over Jampana at the moment, taking a little bit the sting out of the heat. It's been a very, very hot morning here in Wellington, southern Florida. As they go back to the second, and White Birch, I believe for the first time, have actually taken the lead. So far, they've always had to come back after Casablanca had laid up a goal, taking the lead. 1:15, and I think the umpires, and that is something that you might be well advised, a game of polo, unlike other games, you want to not give any back chat to the umpires. Once the umpires have made a decision, that is final. If you are not able to bite your tongue, the umpires have the chance and the facility to overrule what would have been a throw-in, but in this case, possession has been given to White Birch, and I wonder or not whether he's going to try and score from here, because the Grand Champions Polo Club came up with a fantastic and a very novel idea, which is the Cat 2-point challenge. And, you know, no sooner had I said the word, yes, indeed, the Cat 2-point challenge given there. Now, that of course, means that from the halfway line or beyond, if a player scores, he will get 2.
No, I think it said in WPL all season.
Well, there's a bit of discussion going on. We're just going to let you know and verify that. Either way, it was a great goal by Santi Toccolino, making it 4-3. But the question now, of course, is will that 2-point that Cats challenge be awarded? You might have heard the siren as Casablanca will be trying to very quickly claw one back before the end of the chukker. That ball will go out of play. It is 3-4 as it stands. We'll be right back and verify that Cats 2-point challenge after this short break. Stay tuned here on Chukker TV. Welcome back, everybody. Well, I did promise you I was going to come back to you and let you know whether that Cats 2-point challenge stood. I need to stand corrected. That was applicable only in the Founders Cup, which, of course, we finished yesterday. So despite the fact that it was a shot from the centre, you don't see that every day of the week, brought to you there by Santiago Toccolino, only a single point. So the score is correct. It is 3 goals for Casablanca and a total of 5 goals for White Birch. And I don't want to take anything away from that talented Santi Toccolino, because he scored not only from the centre, but he also scored 3 goals so far in this, in the first 2 chukkers played. As they come back, of course, and will resume play with a hit in from their own back line. And that will be in favour of White Birch. Remember, they were given a shot from the centre, which Toccolino just slammed down the field. So a nice little cushion they've managed to create for themselves here at White Birch, and they'll be, I'm sure, wanting to do everything they can to take this lead into the half. We are now at chucker number 3. Remember, we play a total of 6 chuckers. Casablanca all of a sudden caught a little bit on their back foot. White Birch here clearly with a mission and a point to prove, which is to leave this field victorious. And so far, they're doing everything right. Nice little combination play. Now, he did take it on the near side after Tocolina tried to clear the way for there, the man with the number 2, Faco Llorente. Steve, talk us through that one.
Juan Martin Nero was coming right down the line, and Tocolino was on the near side of the line of the ball, crossed over and took it on the offside. So not a big enough gap. Should have flattened out and taken it on the near side.
Thank you very much. You heard it there, Chief Umpire Steve Lane. The gap wasn't big enough, and again, that all to do with the welfare, the safety of the players, and of course, the 4-legged athlete, as my friend Dale would always say. And as a result of that, the team in the light blue shirts, Casablanca, been awarded a penalty for, which of course is the only penalty in front of goal with the ball being stationary. That may be defended. The defending team must allow at least a distance of 30 yards. And let's see what Juan Martinero can do here. He's already scored one of exactly that same position, going down exactly the same side of the field this time, and that's what the defenders are there for. The number 2 and the number 3, Llorente and Aguirre, pick it up. Good defensive play here from White Birch. They do not want to concede. They want to hold on to that 2-point lead if they can, and if anything, trying to extend it. Barto Castagnola now for Casablanca. He a very young and a very talented and above all a very strong player, exceptionally agile. He can score from anywhere. Took a swing, came off the pony there of Martin Aguirre. And I think that just got a little bit too lively there for the umpires. Remember, we want to try and promote and see positive open play, which means no shading, no blocking, no getting in the way, allowing the player to get to the ball to make that shot. And I can hear that the 2 umpires here now having to consult, I think, the 3rd man. Is there a challenge? No, I haven't heard the word challenge. Well, we haven't yet over the airwaves heard the word challenge being mentioned. That's not to say that it might not happen. This, of course, would be the sort of time if you wanted to use that challenge, because remember, they only get 1 challenge per half, to maybe bring that into play now. The 2 umpires still in conference there, and if anything, they will be talking to the team captains and the team captains only. Yeah, they've gone back to the studio to consult the 3rd man, who will be looking at the action on tape, of course, to evaluate exactly what happened there. So just a small little pause here for the umpires to be advised on what was seen. And that, of course, another great feature that we have here at the WPL. Very much also part and parcel of the experience at Grand Champions Polo Club, that we have a man in the studio who will be able to, as I say, review that play. I'd like to also say a very good morning to the crew working in the studio, working very hard and making sure that all the technicalities are in place, that we can bring you the coverage here on Chukka TV. And I'm just being told here, after consultation with the 3rd man, no foul. No foul, and I think they're going to go for a throw-in halfway in the half there of White Birch, who will want to try and win this ball very, very quickly and get it away, because Casablanca, especially the way Castagnola, who's on the ball again, was playing just a few moments ago, they were getting closer and closer. Castagnola just outplaying the man with the number 3. In comes Juan Martinero as they turn things around, and it's going to be Grant Ganzi. Now all of a sudden playing the back position, will send it back down the field. He was hoping to find one of his teammates, but Mariano Aguirre very much there, keeping his wits about him. And again, the pressure now on Casablanca. There's one White Birch player surrounded there by Casablanca defenders. The first man to try and challenge Mariano Aguirre was Juancito Bellini, but they managed to very nicely get out of that little sticky situation. And White Birch all of a sudden find themselves exactly where they want. Pressure now once again on Casablanca. They still have possession. There comes the attempted shot to goal. And no mistake. Don't know how he found a gap there. Now, was that Facu Llorente or Mariano Aguirre? We'll just have to wait to see what the eye in the sky can tell me. Well, we'll come back to you on that. But it was definitely a goal for White Birch. For me, it looked like it could have been, well, like I said, either Facu Llorente or Mariano Aguirre. A whistle will stop play, just waiting for the umpire to get in situ. Here we go, ball's back in play. Picked up by the number 3 there for Casablanca, Barto Castagnola. Very solid, very dangerous player. White Birch are aware of his presence on the field. They want to try and get a grip on him because give him, as I say, so much of a blink of an eye. He will make the most of it. He's on the ball again, wants to unload one to goal, but he runs into a little bit of traffic. White Birch will quickly clear it. Castagnola still on the ball. Power play, nicely done as he tries to avoid the hook there. There comes the shot to goal, and Castagnola, I told you, you give him only a small little window, and he will turn that into an opportunity. He scores 3:50 and counting down on the clock. As soon as the umpires blow the whistle, they have to get back to the halfway line. They will blow the whistle and the clock will stop. Here we go then at 3:40 on the nose. 6 goals to 4. Still White Birch in a very comfortable position. And I can tell you now, it was, as I suggested, well, I wasn't sure whether it was Facundo or Mariano Facundo there scoring the goal just a few moments before that goal from Castagnola. Thank you for White Birch, giving it a total, as I say, of 6 goals to 4. 3:40 left on the clock, and then we will have a slightly extended half-time break, a chance for you to maybe top up your cup of coffee or a nice cup of tea, and then join us, of course, here on Chaka TV for the second half in this, the opening game in Group A between Casablanca and White Birch. And remember, the action continues this afternoon, also from Jan Pamela. 3 p.m. we will have Pampa Norte taking on Santa Rita. Here we go then. Ball's back in play. A little over 3.5 minutes left to play in Chaka number 1. And again, White Birch, who I think have won the majority of the throw-in. There's a nice high ball there by Toccalini, who's going to drop right on the tee, and literally what I like to call a Remington, a very close shave, just going out on the right-hand side there, Steve. I could have easily found the target, eh?
Yeah, that was a heck of a shot by him, hitting the ball on the bounce, sending it to goal, but just a little bit unlucky going over the back line.
Well, either way, White Birch can be very happy with their performance so far here, keeping Casablanca very much at bay. They had a bit of a slow start, having to always come back after Casablanca scored the first couple of goals, but then around about halfway through the Chaka number 2 is when White Birch turned on the heat a little bit and started really flexing their muscle. And if I look at the score sheet, Santiago Toccalino, not only with 3 goals, but with that amazing shot from the halfway line. That's something you don't see every day of the week. Remember, Polo Field is 300 yards long, so that ball flying over 150 yards. Casablanca here, and Juan Martinero probably thought to himself, right, it's about time we got right back into this game, and very much showing his worth at 10 goals. Goal number 2 for the 10-goaler there, reducing the gap to just 1 goal. 2:11 on the clock. 6 goals to 5, still very much in favour of White Birch. Yeah, as I was saying, 300 yards is the length of the field, 160 wide, and the goal posts are 8 yards apart, or 24 feet if you prefer doing it that way. And my English friend here, who I know has gone metric, what's that in meters, Mark? 7.3 meters for those of you watching in Europe who are not familiar with yards and feet. Another whistle on the play right under the watchful eye here of Steve Lane. Steve, just talk us through that one, would you?
The horse's head was in the right of way when Barto went for the offside play. A little bit crossways to the line of the ball with a White Birch player coming down the right of way. So good call by the officials.
Well, absolutely. And, of course, we mentioned that yesterday during the final, Steve. You can pick up a ball on the near side, but no part of your pony must cross that line.
That's absolutely correct. There is a right of way, and you can't infringe that right of way unless doing so safely.
Thank you very much. Always good to have him with us, Mr. Steve Lane. Again, of course, any questions you'd like to put to our chief umpire here at Grand Champions Polo Club, please drop us a line in the chat box here on Choco TV. And again, a nice little combination play coming from Tocolino. Number 2 will pick this one through, making it look so easy. Facundo Llorente getting his second of the morning, and he restores that 2-goal cushion, 7 goals to 5. And this is what we will see a lot in the WPL, Steve. I know that we saw it a lot yesterday, is that very quick hit and rush. Sometimes only 2 stops, maybe 3 tops from one end to the other, and that ball goes through goal, of course, here at the WPL, which, Steve, tell me, it's the highest level polo plate anywhere in the world outside of Argentina, am I right?
You're absolutely correct. And on a shot like that, on a play like that in 26-goal polo, some people don't think that penalty 5 from the spot is a penalty at all or an advantage, but that proved it right there that a penalty 5 is an advantage play.
Thank you very much. Always very much appreciating the comments there, our chief umpire, Steve Lane. Now then, Casablanca have quite a bit of work to do. They are down to the we are down to the last few minutes in this chukka, and after that combination play, they can do it as well. Juancito Bellini getting his first goal of the game, reducing it just to 1 goal difference there. Casablanca will leave the field with 6 goals to their name. White Birch will be happy to have, even though ever so slightly, that slight advantage, leaving the field with 7 goals. Remember, they've come into this game on the total team handicap of 23, so well done to both teams. White Birch taking the lead. We'll be back for the second half of this first group match of the Palm Beach Open 2021 after this short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed the first half action here. Nice to have you with us here on Chukka TV. You are, of course, watching the opening game here in Group A at Jan Palmer. That's where we're coming from this morning on this beautiful Monday morning here in southern Florida, of course, in the heart of Wellington. Casablanca out there in the pale blue shirts. Let me just quickly run you through the names of the players and their handicaps. At number 1, as always, Grant Ganzi, 3-goaler. Juancito Bellini playing the number 2 of 4 goals. And then we have the 9-goaler, Barto Castagnola, with already 3 goals to his name. Juan Martinero with 2. They left the field with 6 goals at the end of the first 3 chukkers played at half-time. And they're up against a very, very solid and a very strong White Birch. Chris Brandt, the number 1 player of 0 goals, scoring in the very first chukker. And then we had Facu Llorente at number 2, 7 goals. He scored in chukker number 3. Took him a couple of chukkers to get his shot on target. And then we have the 2 8-goalers, Mariano Aguirre, who scored once, and Santiago Tocalino with a total of 4 goals. He scored 1 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the third, leaving their total tally of goals at 7. You rejoin us now here at Jan Palmer field number 2 for the action. Just about to get the ball underway for the second half. We're just waiting for the umpires who, well, I'm hoping will be out there shortly, because the players, of course, they know they only have a set number of minutes in which they can, at half-time, get back out onto the field. So whilst we're waiting for the umpires to rejoin us, a chance for me to just remind you again that the action, of course, continues today. The first group game of Group B will be taking place, and also coming to you, of course, this afternoon via Chukka TV. We're going to be at Jan Palmer's all day. That will be starting at 3 o'clock this afternoon, local Wellington time. Pampa Norte will be taking on Santa Rita, as I say, that this afternoon at 3 o'clock. And then, of course, the WPL action continues on Wednesday morning, again at 10:30 and at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But tomorrow, Tuesday, we will be starting a Grand Champions great tournament, the 50,000 winner-take-all Gold Cup. So make sure you tune in for the first of that game. That, as I say, coming to you tomorrow from or via Chukka TV. A total of 6 teams playing in the $50,000 winner-take-all World Cup. As I say, that will be starting tomorrow. So, Esteban Ferrari and Federico Martelli are 2 mounted umpires, the gentlemen who are keeping us slightly waiting. And once they come back out onto the field, we will, of course, crack on with the second half. Chance for me just to run you through the remaining other 6 teams of, 6 teams. There is a total of 8 teams, of course, competing in this year's WPL Palm Beach Open yesterday. I hope you tuned in. We had a cracking final over at Grand Champions Polo Club on field number 2, the final of the Founders Cup. Remember, the WPL is made up of 4 tournaments. Every year we start off with the All-Star Challenge, also won by Richard Mille. And they came with a mission yesterday to get their 2nd title under their belt, and they did so. It was a repeat of that final of the All-Star Challenge. Once again, Richard Mille up against Hawaii Polo Life. A great team to watch, and a great team who also did very well yesterday, getting all the way to the final. Couldn't quite get their hands on the trophy, but I think a very solid runner-up, I'm sure they'll be happy with as well. I'm going to have to tell you, I still have no signs of the umpires, so I'm going to throw this one back to the studio, and we'll be back after this very short break, when we expect to have Esteban Ferrari and Federico Martelli ready to get the second half of the Palm Beach Open, first game of the tournament underway. Be with us in just a few moments.
The world's best polo in your pocket. Chucker TV, the only app you'll need to watch polo. The world's best polo in your pocket.
Chucker TV, the only app you'll ever need to watch polo.
To be able to come here and play a course such as this, it's a great experience. Probably the best tee gift I've ever received, so, and that's no lie. My wife actually gave me a pair for Christmas before I played in the tournament, so this will be my third pair, so I'm looking forward to it.
Over the calf,
17 and a half. Outseam 43 and a half.
We make a personal pattern for everybody, and that takes a lot of different points on a body to draft a pattern.
I have at least 7 or 8 pair. Great golf course and get a pair of blue jeans out of the deal is freaking awesome.
The down for that is 17 and a quarter.
Was that about 32?
Yep, you nailed it.
Same thing you've been wearing since high school.
6 and a half.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thanks so much for being here, and good luck today on the course. We will do a true shotgun start today, so good luck today, and y'all have a great time.
People aren't accustomed to getting a gift like custom pants at a golf tournament, but for clubs that do offer that to their members, it's been a success every time because it's so unique, it's so different, and it's an American-made product that's custom. You get measured for it, you get to design it and pick it. Who doesn't like that?
Getting a pair of jeans from Blue Delta is a great gift, something unique, something that they normally wouldn't get that they really appreciate.
Welcome back, everybody. Sorry to have to tell you that we are still just a few minutes away from the second half, but chance for me to just bring you up to speed on the other teams that, of course, will be playing in Group A, as you know, out on the field. And we've seen a very exciting first half here between Casablanca and White Birch. We still have in that group to see Seminole Casino Coconut Creek. They're going to be up against Richard Mille in their first group game. So that is the 4 teams that make up Group A. Group B, as I mentioned earlier, we will have this afternoon at 3 o'clock, also coming from Jan Pamela. Pampa Norte will be taking on Santa Rita, and then the other 2 teams who are also coming into this tournament of 24 goals. Great Oaks and Tamara. Santa Rita also 24. Pampa Norte, the only team slightly below of 22. But as the title would suggest, this is the Palm Beach Open. So no handicap advantages given, unlike, of course, in the Founders Cup, where if a team was slightly weaker on handicap, based on how much the difference is, they would be given a goal or 2 advantage. And I can also tell you that I mentioned, I think earlier, on Wednesday, Group A, that second match of that group will be Richard Mille against Seminole Casino Coconut Creek. And then in the afternoon on Wednesday, Group B will be taking on Great Oaks versus Tamara. And I can also just have a little word or a little chat with my dear friend, Chief Umpire here of Grand Champions Polo Club. Steve, good morning to you. Great to have you with us this morning. Tell me, we've just seen the first half here, And despite the fact that there is a 3-goal difference here, White Birch, as you know, coming in here of 23 goals, Casablanca coming in of 26 goals. Obviously compliments to the way they've both been playing, but I think we need to highlight here that White Birch, as I say, coming in 3 goals under handicap against Casablanca, are very much holding their own and giving Casablanca a real tough and a real good run for their money.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I think the difference is that Tocolino and Lorente and Mariano, the 3 of them working very well together. Where you look at Casablanca and Juan Martin Nero and Barto are working well together, but they got to include Juancito and Grant Gansey. And Grant Gansey's had a couple of shots on goal, unable to convert, but I think the difference is the clicking of 3 cylinders against 2. And therefore White Birch has been dominant here in the early stages of the game, but don't count Casablanca out, because during that halftime break, I'm sure that they've had some conversations about sending Juancito up a little bit more up into the front to be more of an offensive player, although he has been a workhorse. He's riding Mariano Aguirre quite a bit, but you know, it's tough to say in any handicap level of polo, go take a player 2 or 3 or 4 goals better than you are, because now you're saying ride like that player's handicap, be mounted like that player's handicap, and be thinking like that player's handicap. So a difficult task out in front for Juancito and Casablanca, but I think they will turn it around.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Steve. I think Casablanca not really quite getting yet, or haven't quite yet found and connected the way they have. It would appear that White Birch, who have also come in this game very, very concentrated. They've shut down any kind of space that Casablanca like to have to open up and play their game. Has not really been, has not come to fruition. So compliments here. Also in defence, I think it has to be said that White Birch have done a very, very good job in not only scoring up front. Let's have a look at how they did. Santi Tocolino, of course, scoring in the first, twice in the second, and once again in the third. Mariano Aguirre, he scored only in the second. Facu Llorente, again in the third, but of course the scoring was opened up by Chris Brandt. And Steve, what about that? I mean, something which you really don't see every day, very rare, is of course that penalty 5B that was awarded. That Santi Tocolino just walloped literally over 150 yards from the halfway line to the goal. Like I say, you don't see that every day of the week.
No, I think that penalty 5B from the center was created by Armstrong, because the wind certainly didn't help him. We don't have much wind here today, so that was just putting the mallet to the ball and sending it 151 yards for a score. And also remember, that play came on a technical. So that technical darn sure hurt Casablanca. And we've seen another penalty 5 from the spot where White Birch just hit it one time down to Lorente, and Lorente put it on through the goal. So they are hitting long balls, and they are taking those opportunities, and they are scoring off of them.
Thank you very much for that, Steve. Well, I can tell you that the umpires are now back on the field. Of course, also very important, pony welfare, of course, applies not just to the players, but also to the umpires. So our 2 mounted officials, Esteban Ferrari and Federico Martelli, back in the saddle again. Players already out. All of Casablanca, all 4 of them are out. And I think 1, 2, 3 White Birch players, just waiting for one more player to come and join his teammates. I can only count. Are they all 4 there? Can you see 4? I can only see 3. Oh, there is 4. Beg your pardon. Beg your pardon. Yes, I'm getting to that age now, Steve, where it's either I need to clean my glasses or go for another optician test. Here we go then. Welcome back, everybody. Strap yourselves in for the second half of this Group A match between Casablanca, who trail by 1 at halftime. Ball is in play, and once again, and I think I'm not wrong by saying that I would say well over 90% of those throw-ins have been won by White Birch, and of course that is already halfway there to trying and getting another score on the scoreboard, winning those oh so important throw-ins, as we now watch the 10-goaler here, Juan Martinero, being challenged there by the 7-goaler Facundo Llorente. But Juan Martinero able to still regain possession of the ball, but I think one White Birch defender too many, even for a 10-goaler, will be a tall order. He's lucky to get it again. There comes a hook from Aguirre. But Juan Martinero just keeping his wits about him, staying very focused. He's got Grant Gansey there, who's trying to take away and pull one of those defending players, Chris Brandt, away from the 10-goaler. White Birch eventually coming out on top. Castagnola having to go back in defence as they cut across the field here. Nice little hook attempt by Juan Martinero as it's turned back down the field. Who will be the first man on the play? It looks to me like Santi Toccalino. No, beg your pardon. That was Facu Llorente. Now Toccalino will loft that one over the halfway line. Nice little pass. He's found Mariano Aguirre. Aguirre's got the 10-goaler breathing down his neck. Who will steal the ball, turn it around. Now he's got an attacking player going up the field. Barto Castagnola dying to get that ball. There comes the long drive. Castagnola perfectly dropped. He will take out the 3-iron and just chip that one to goal on the near side. Barto Castagnola, like I keep saying, you cannot leave that man on his own. He will make something out of nothing. And again, there, nicely done. The assist, the pass came on the far side from Juan Martinero. Castagnola checked, held back, timed it just right. And goal number 4 for the 9-goaler, Barto Castagnola. And that means we have even Stevens, the equaliser there, 7 goals apiece. Still plenty of time. Just a little over 5 minutes to play in this, the 4th of our 6 chukkers. They change ends, as you know. Ball is thrown into play, and let's see who's going to come out on top this time. And again, it's White Birch, as I say, winning most of those throw-ins, and that's been, I think, a big aid and a big help here for them doing so well as they have so far. But now this could be the turning point here. If Casablanca can continue doing what they've done just now. They came back, remember, they were trailing by 2. If I look at the way they scored, they played in the first half. It was 2 apiece at the end of the first chukker. Then in chukker number 2, White Birch winning that chukker by 3 goals to 1. And it was Casablanca who then came back with 3 goals in chukker number 3. But White Birch still managed to get 2 in that third chukker. And only just now that goal from Barto Castagnola has brought them level. But another foul in front of goal mouth. And that looks like a penalty. 3, that's the one I thought. 40 yards open, of course, and a chance once again for White Birch to regain the lead. Santi Toccalino looking for his 5th goal of this game. Makes no mistake, there it is. So very short-lived, that equaliser by Casablanca as Santi Toccalino gets goal number 5. 8 goals to 7. We're in the 4th chukker, and it's 4-4-1, coming down to now 4.5 minutes as they make their way back to the centre for the next throw-in. Well, the sun now slowly burning away those clouds that were so agreeable to the players out on the field in the first half. Inevitably, as we approach the midday mark here, of course, that midday sun will be burning away anything that resembles a cloud. Chance maybe here for, I was going to say, Juancito Bellini, but he's left it behind. Castagnola will pick up the loose ball. A nice hammer near side backhander there from Aguirre. Again, pressure now coming from White Birch on Casablanca. But Castagnola will send Juan Martinero on his way. Again, nice defensive play as Aguirre with a hook manages to secure possession just on the halfway line again. Toccalino controls that ball very elegantly. There's the backhand again from Castagnola. Pressure once again coming from White Birch through the centre now. Mariano Aguirre. It's going to be left for Gansey. He was trying to just get that away because he could feel that White Birch were coming closer and closer. And that, to me, Steve, looked like too many legs coming onto that one line. How did you see that one, Steve?
Well, the players flocked around the ball a little bit, but I think the ball was buried momentarily, so they were trying to dig it out. And, of course, we're going to have our courtesy horse change right now, so we'll see what the umpires decide on foul or if we have a bowl in for a buried ball.
Well, of course, very, very difficult at times for the umpires to determine who has the right of way, who has that line when you have a dead ball, basically, a dead ball, and you've got players coming at that ball from all kinds of angles. Now, the rule book says the nearest and closest player to the ball will automatically be awarded the line, but when you have players in proximity of just a couple of yards. That is sometimes not an easy call to make. But that, of course, is why we have our two mounted umpires, our third man, and if need be, we can always go back to the instant replay official who can determine who is the nearest player to that ball. But as you said, Steve, it's interesting to see what the call is. Of course, if we have such a thing as a buried ball, well, that, of course, is a disadvantage to both players. What is the normal procedure on a buried ball?
Well, on a buried ball, you'd like both teams to take a stab at it or at least let them try and dig it out. But if everybody quits playing, then, of course, a whistle and then a bowl in. So, yeah, it looked like they were trying to dig it out and not just in time. It was taking a little bit too long. So the umpires blew the whistle, and let's make sure that I'm right on that call.
Yeah, otherwise you owe me a cup of tea, my friend. So here they come then. Quick courtesy change, and we've already mentioned that. 45 seconds is the time allowed for the players to go out and get themselves a fresh set of legs. And we were talking about this yesterday, Steve, as well. We've had people ask, especially the newcomers to polo, why the tails are tied up. Well, I think you, Steve, explained it very well yesterday. When you, of course, have a back shot, especially a tail shot, which is, of course, a backhander going around underneath the tail of the pony, you don't want to get your polo mallet stuck in the tail of the pony. This is the reason why they're tied up. And you might have also noticed, those of you watching at home, that all the ponies have bandages and fetlocks on their legs, of course, again, never with intent. It could, of course, very easily happen that a polo mallet will just clip or strike or hit a pony's leg, which is why, of course, again, pony welfare and the protection of the four-legged athlete is very, very important here, not only at Grand Champions Polo Club, but also very much of the WPL, the World Polo League. Remember, this its third year since it started back in 2018. Last year, of course, 2020, we had just more or less come to this stage. We were in the we had just started the Palm Beach Open when the pandemic hit, and of course that was a big dampener for all of those, all the athletes, of course, competing, all the players that came from all corners of the globe. Very international, of course, the players that are coming here playing for the WPL. This year, now we're basically picking up where we left off from last year. And as I said, this is the first game of the Palm Beach Open. I can see that a medic has come out. I can also tell you that I think for Casablanca, if I'm not mistaken, was it Chris Brandt over there on the number one? He had to dismount his pony. So we will let the umpires just have a little quick, we'll let the medics have a little quick look at the player, making sure he's okay. And we will then hopefully be able to resume play with the remaining 2.5 minutes left to play in this chukker. We're going to have a little break, and you make sure you join us here for the remaining 2:37 minutes left to play. 7-8 at the moment. White Birch still in the lead. Stay tuned here with us on Chukker TV. Welcome back. Thank you for that little break that we had to just throw in there. Just wanted to make sure that the number one player there, Chris Brandt, got the all clear from the medic. He's back in the saddle again and out on the field, so we're able to continue. Luckily, no injury or no serious injury sustained, maybe just a bruise. And Casablanca, after that little melee of play in front of goal, have been awarded a penalty 30 yards the distance. So another chance here now for Casablanca to once again draw level. And this time stepping up to the plate will be the 9-goaler, the man with the number 3 on his shirt, Barto Castagnola, looking for his 5th goal of this game. Makes it look so easy, elegant swing, and there it is, goal number 5 for Barto Castagnola, and he brings his team right back into this game again, 8 goals apiece. Now it'll be interesting to see whether or not they can, like they did very early on, but only very early on, start running away with it, always teeing up a goal, and then White Birch were the ones who have to respond and have to react. Let's see how White Birch will deal with this. They came out last time very quickly, restored that little goal advantage, but Casablanca have won the throw-in, and it looks like Juan Martinero will run this one himself as Bellini cleverly takes out the player on the far side there, allowing Juanma the space that he needs. Castagnola a little bit wrong-footed there, couldn't pick that one up, but all of a sudden we see power play here. They've won the throw-in as Juan Martinero teeing up the ball. Now again, he is the kind of guy who can shoot from any place, any corner of the field. Just playing a little bit of cat and mouse there with that defender from White Birch. Here comes the under-the-neck attempt on goal. He tried to tee it up just nice, but maybe another yard or two further would have been perfect. That ball going over the back line. So White Birch very happy, I'm sure, not to concede. It is 8 goals apiece, and we're just a little over a minute left to play here in Chukka number 4. So White Birch will have it. Casablanca standing very deep. So the idea, of course, is to try and lose your opponent, the opposition player who is meant to be marking you, to allow that hitter from the back line to play a good pass up to you. The last thing you want, of course, is the opposition, like we're seeing here, Castagnola out playing the defence here of White Birch, and this is exactly the kind of thing they need to be careful of. You mentioned it early on, Steve, and for the first time in a long time, Barto Castagnola, not only with his hat-trick in this Chukka, goal number 6, puts Casablanca back in the lead. They lead by 9 goals to 8. And that horn will indicate the end of the Chukka. So Casablanca turning things around here just when it matters most. We'll let the players get to the pony lines, change ponies. You make sure you stick with us here for the penultimate and final Chukka here on Chukka TV. In just a few moments, we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Jan-Erik Frank. Happy to be here with you on Chukka TV, talking you through this opening game of the Palm Beach Open. We're at Jan Palmer's Casablanca. After having struggled a little bit in Chukka 2, 3 and 4, finally turned things around at the top of the end of Chukka number 4, getting the lead once again, leading by 9 goals to 8, putting White Birch a little bit on their back foot. Took them a little bit after they had a very good start. Remember, they came out at the end of Chukker number 1. It was 2 goals apiece, and that is when White Birch started turning it up a notch or two. They left the field at the end of Chukker number 2, leading by 2 goals, 5 goals to 3. At the end of Chukker number 3, then it was 7 goals to 6. So again, they still had that slight advantage going into the half-time, but it all changed again in Chukker number 4 when Casablanca, with 3 goals courtesy of Barto Castagnola, doing a very good job there, and then scoring the very important 9th goal, putting Casablanca back in the lead. So White Birch now, as I say, have it all to do, and all of a sudden also the ratio of winning those throw-ins, which has been very much dominated by White Birch. Casablanca now very much winning most of the throw-ins, but that a foul right in front of goal, a right-of-way infringement. I think that was quite clear to see in front of goal. Player had already established himself on that line. That, of course, is a no-no. So no goal despite the ball going over and through the uprights. White Birch will be happy. And they did not concede as they trail by 8 goals tonight. Play is called. Plenty of time yet in this penultimate Chukker. A little switcheroo then. The ball is given back to Mariano Aguirre. Aguirre looking for 1 or 2 of his attacking players. At front there was Facundo Llorente, but again Juan Martinero playing a very solid back and also very, very dangerous in front of goal. There is a near-side backhander coming from Aguirre. And another whistle on that play. Steve, talk us through that one, would you?
Well, I'm not sure I agree with that call, to be honest with you, because I didn't have Nero exactly on the line, and a player meeting the ball must be on its exact line 100%. So a player following the ball at 89 degrees or less has the right of way, and the rule reads regardless of the respective angles. A player following the ball has the right of way over a player meeting the ball unless the player meeting the ball is on its exact line. That's the rule from the book, word for word, quote unquote.
Thank you very much, Steve, for just giving us a very good definition on that. Well, let's see what the umpires make of that. We are at 6:29. And do we have a challenge on this play, Steve? Well, we're either questioning the third man. I don't think we, as you said, the word challenge has not yet been mentioned. So I think the third man will be reviewing this in the studio. Of course, as you know, Steve, very often at this level of the game, the penultimate Chukker is very often where games are decided. Players will be coming out, of course, on their bestest and fastest ponies. So we're just now waiting for the umpires to get verification from the third man sitting in the studio. That, of course, is our dear friend, chief umpire of the WPL, Mr. Gaston Dorignac. And it looks like a decision has been made. Let's see where the umpires drop that ball. I'm guessing it's going to be on the penalty 4 spot. So a 60-yard defended penalty shot now as the result, as the outcome of that call. So a very, very important opportunity here for Casablanca, who could, if they can convert now, actually go into double figures, and also for the first time get themselves a 2-goal cushion going into the remaining good little under 6.5 minutes. Here we go then. It's going to be Juan Martinero taking a nice long run up. Juan Martinero, remember, it is defended. Casablanca here looking to go into double figures. It's high. The goal judge will suggest by waving the flag, as you see down, it's gone out to the right-hand side, so the scores remain the same, 9 goals to 8. Clock ticking down, but White Birch once again getting away with it there, not conceding. That could have been 2 goals now, which would have been detrimental, and of course those kind of things can very much change the mode within a team, but so far they are still very much in this game, even though they trail by 1. And let's hope they can latch onto the performance of how they played in that first Chukker. Here we go then. The 10-goaler has the ball taken off him there by the number 1, Chris Brandt, the 0-goaler there. Very much showing his worth and taking on, and you need a bit of courage to do that, the 10-goaler Juan Martinero. There's an near-side backhand. Juan Martin leading very far out of the saddle. I think he's got a point to prove here. He's got a man either side of him. Wanted to tee that one up. Nicely done for Juancito Bellini, who takes a shot under the neck, finds himself in the perfect position. Juancito Bellini getting his second of the game. And as I say, that will put Casablanca not only into double figures, but they have, for the first time in this game, a 2-goal advantage. 10 goals to 8 with 5-0, 5 on the clock as they go back to the centre. Well, I'm just wondering or not whether that was all part of the strategy from Casablanca, playing at a much higher and faster pace here in the second half. White Birch just having to deal with how strong Casablanca are coming out here. Bellini now challenging and taking on that player. He will get possession of the line. He did very well. Wanted to send Castagnola, who was coming down the field, on his way. But White Birch managing to just get a grip on this play. He's told to leave it. Bellini was in the thick of it there. A hook there from Castagnola. He will try it once more. Look how far he reaches out of the saddle there with Mariano Aguirre. Will try and send this one into the danger zone. It's picked up by Juan Martinero. Martinero will send it back. He has a deflection. Down the field comes Bellini. Bellini will extend it. He read that well. He knew he had to lend a helping hand. Castagnola. Castagnola did enough to send a shot which has got Granzi's name on it down the field. There's the cut shot. He came out a little bit too far. Juanma will try and pick this up on the stick side if he can. He ran into some traffic there. Coming out of the left side was Facundo Llorente, going flat out. Steve, talk us through that one.
That was a little tough to talk through right there. Nero was on the line, definitely had the offside, and he had a player on his right hip with a near side play, but we also had a White Birch player coming in front making Nero look up. So, yeah, I think the officials were right on top of the play on that one.
I would agree with you on that one. Very, very difficult to tell, of course, at times, as the umpires, as you said, Steve, there, making a very good decision. Well, we've had a whistle, 3:43, and I think the ponies will be appreciating a courtesy change. They're going to go off and change ponies. 10 goals to 8. And Steve, as I've just had you on the microphone, maybe we can just talk a little bit about how Casablanca have very clearly changed their way of playing. Coming out here a lot stronger now, winning the majority of the throw-ins in the second half. And then, of course, being very, very precise in their scoring.
Well, Casablanca's coming out, and they're using Juancito a little bit more, and Grant Gansey's doing a lot of back shots also. So, you know what? All that team is clicking on all 4 cylinders since the halftime. So, Casablanca ahead by 2, and White Birch is now in the catch-up seat. You know, Tocolino and Lorente and Mariano still working well together. Mariano trying to direct the team, but with Grant Gansey and Juancito coming in, that has really made things difficult for White Birch.
Yeah, I agree with you, Grant, of course, there just now, a few moments ago, just shy of trying to, well, he could normally score from there, but he was just a little bit too far out to hit that ball nicely. But as you said, Bellini coming in, and that is something which we've seen often at Casablanca, where they just change the roles a little bit. The defenders going back in defence, going back up to attack, and the attackers going back in defence. So Casablanca clearly with a game plan that seems to be paying dividends and working very much in their favour. Players back out on the field. Quick pony change. 3:43 on the clock. 10 goals to 8. If you've just joined us, nice to have you with us here on Chucky TV. We're coming to you live from Jan Pamela. And this afternoon, we will have the first group game of Group B. Also here at Jan Pamela's, Pampanote will be taking on Santa Rita. Make sure you tune in here on Chucky TV this afternoon, 3 p.m. Florida. I like to call it WPL time. The highest level of polo played anywhere on planet Earth outside, of course, of Argentina. And we really do have the creme de la creme, the who's who. The big names, the big stars, all here playing for the WPL. Yesterday, of course, the second final of the Founders Cup. 2 wins back-to-back for Rishad Mill. The Cobra very happy there with his team getting back-to-back wins and again beating the same team that they beat in the All-Star Challenge, the opener of the WPL 2021 season. And now today, straight away, no rest for the wicked. We crack on with the first of the Palm Beach Open. And it'll be the man with the number 3, Barto Castagnola, who will convert this penalty to, I believe it is. He will send that one deep down the field. So Castagnola, very much worth his 9 goals. And we have a 3-goal advantage now all of a sudden for Casablanca. White Birch, I have to unfortunately say, just a shadow of what they were in that first half. And that's not because they're not playing as strong as they did. I just think it's down to the strategy that Casablanca has applied here. As you were saying, Steve, bringing those young guns, Grant Ganzi and Juancito Bellini, a little bit more into the play, into the action here, allowing the 10-goaler Juan Martinero to do what he does so well, and he'll do that all day long, is score goals. Let's have a look how many he scored so far. Twice in Chukker 1 and in Chukker number 3. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 goals are totaling now for Barto Castagnola. One, of course, by Juancito. And that goal that we were still waiting for, Steve, by Grant Ganzi, hasn't yet come. Maybe he's just teasing us and leaving that for the very last Chukker. 11 goals to 8, 2:44. Another whistle on the play. A penalty 4. Looks like the... no, beg your pardon, penalty 3. I stand corrected. Thank you. We have, of course, our eye in the sky. And, of course, here from centre field, the wonderful Steph bringing you these wonderful pictures here via Chukker TV. Of course, all the boys in the studio, headed there by our producer, Mike Ferreira, always doing a great job. And White Birch now with a big opportunity here. Santiago Tocalino, and they will need this. I'm sure that will send ripples of motivation amongst that team White Birch. That is the first score of this Chukker. So White Birch still very much in this game and will not give up until the very end. Tocalino there with goal number 6, making the scoreline read 11 goals to 9, still in favour of Casablanca. Chukker number 5, 2:15 on the clock as the ball is about to be released again from the umpire Federico Martelli. Esteban Ferrari, of course, our other mounted umpire, and Casablanca again, as I mentioned just now, winning the majority of these throw-ins, and this is how you play polo. A couple of little tap shots. Bellini on his way, tried to just control that one on the bounce, a little bit unlucky there on his first shot, but Barto, who came up with him, of course, Barto looking for a little gap, tries to find a little slot there to send that ball through. That one's going to go, I think, over the sideboards indeed. So a penalty from the spot, or a so-called 5A, a hit-in, if you will be awarded based on that ball going out of bounds. Ball is dropped, play is called. Juan Martinero doesn't waste any time. He finds himself and his team all in the half here of White Birch, wanting to just play a little bit of a cat and mouse there to try and take out that player. Ganzi's in there as well, and again, it's landed at the feet of Castagnola, changes direction, making it very awkward, but great reaction play here from White Birch. Now, Steve, was that turning on the ball, or what was the foul, the whistle on that one?
I'm not sure. It looked like it might have been a reaching foul right there, but a little tough to say from here.
Okay, well, let's wait and see what the umpires make of that. You can see Martelli there just dropping the ball on the spot, so it'll be a 5A, and it looks to me like it's going to go in favour of White Birch. So maybe you're right, a reaching foul. Again, that, of course, is a no-no in polo. White Birch deep in their own half, and you can see all 4 players. I'm sure they would have been quickly talking about what they're going to do here. Let's see where they go. Casablanca again, very, very deep as the ball is tapped into play. A little over a minute left in Chukker number 5. A risky long shot, looking there for his number 2, Llorente. Llorente will pick it up. In comes Aguirre to lend a helping hand, but Casablanca straight on that player. Still it is Llorente. Llorente looking up. The only man with a little bit of space there is Chris Brandt. Aguirre sending Brandt on his way, but Grant Gansey, he saw that one coming. And of course, Steve, as we spoke about yesterday, in this game at this level, it's not just about how well you hit a ball, how well you ride a horse. It's the anticipation. It's about being a little bit ahead of your opponent. Well, another foul. To me, it looked like another right-of-way infringement there, right in front of the goal mouth. The whistle will stop that chuck, and I'm sure when we come back, we will have a penalty in front of goal. A big opportunity, it looks like, or it would appear, for White Birch. We'll be back after this short break. Make sure you stay with us here on Chucker TV. Welcome back, everybody. Great to have you with us here on Chucker TV. As I promised, at the end of that fifth chucker, there was a whistle, there was a right-of-way infringement right in front of goal, and as a result of that, a penalty. 3 has been awarded in favour of White Birch, which if Toccolino can convert here, will put his team not only into double figures, but right back in the game. No mistake, Toccolino getting the oh-so-important goal for his team, and a great way to start chucker number 6. Goal number 7 there for Toccolino. Has been very, very consistent throughout, scoring on average 1 goal in every chucker. He scored twice in chucker number 2. So 1 goal in it. And it's great to see that White Birch are going to put up a very, very big fight here right until the very end. But I have to say also, I think apart from the odd whistle here and there, it has overall been a very, very fair game, and just when they needed it most, they win the throw-in. But Casablanca, high alert level here for the boys in the pale blue. Bellini going up for the ball. He was not going to quite reach that as they get pushed. White Birch get pushed further and further into their own half, need to start a offensive play halfway down the field in their own half as they turn. Going up at the front, Toccolino waiting. He's got Juan Martinero with him. There's the fake backhand as Castagnola turns it around. Castagnola now needs to be careful. Just takes the pace out ever so slightly, allowing that ball to go through. He was looking for Gansey. Gansey will pick that one up. Couldn't control it. The near side back to clear it. Ideally, of course, looking for a white shirt. and not a man with a white helmet, because that is Castagnola. And Castagnola, as we all know, you give him a chance, he will try and send a long ball down the field. Castagnola just puts it wide. They got to be careful, because 9 out of 10 times they will hit the target. So 10 goals to 11, 5:40 on the clock. White Birch have it, but they find themselves deep down in their own half. Casablanca again pressing very deep here in Casablanca. I beg your pardon, in White Birch's half. As here we go. And that's the kind of mistake that can happen. Bellini working very hard here in defence, putting the pressure on. They have to go back to number 2, Facuggerenti and Santiago Toccolino having to all of a sudden lend a helping hand. They did well to get out of that little sticky situation. That wasn't as far as he wanted that ball to go. Juan Martinero taking the ball around the outside. Juanma. Castagnola just hovering there to his side. Juanma, great stick work from him. Has the ball taken off him. But Castagnola, as I say, was just hovering, anticipating the loss of ball. Regains possession. Now remember, once he gets a little bit close and he so much as gets a whiff of an opportunity, he will take a shot. Juanma maybe with a long distance shot under the neck. And again, over the back line. White Birch need to think of something very quickly, how they can at least get out of their own half and put the pressure onto Casablanca, who are really not giving them any room to play their game. Play is called. 4:17. We're in the 6th and final chukker of this opening match round, or Group A, I should say, between Casablanca and White Birch. White Birch have it. And this, of course, is where the passing and the completion of those passes needs to be literally spot on, because you give that young man on the far side, 4-goaler Juancito Bellini, a chance. Oh, that's a clever little foul, you might think, as Barta was just waiting after Bellini couldn't make the connection to run down the ball. A white player came across it. Well, people do compare polo to a game of chess. It's very tactical and it's very strategic here how they play it. A quick pony change will be allowed here with 3:53 on the clock, so not quite half a chukker played. And Casablanca not only playing a very physical, strong game, but also a mentally very strong game. As we just wait for the players to come back out now. 3:53, 11 goals to 10, and it looked to me there for the briefest of moments that White Birch had gotten their rhythm back, the way they played, especially in the first half. They scored 1 in the 5th chukker, twice Casablanca scoring there, making it 11 goals to then 9. And then, of course, so far in this chukker, White Birch with Santi Toccolino, the only man to get on the score sheet, making his team go into double figures, but they still trail by 1 as the players now coming back out on the field. Now let's see where that ball will be dropped. Oh, there is a challenge on that play, I'm being told. There is a challenge on that play. And that, of course, is a good time to utilize and make the most of that challenge. So White Birch wanting to get verification there from the studio. Casablanca seem quite confident based on where they've already positioned themselves that it's going to go their way. Let's wait and see what Gaston Dorignac in the studio will relay back to the umpires, of course, connected via walkie-talkie to the studio. So at the touch of a button, they can speak to the man in the studio, Gaston Dorignac, who, as I say, is just reviewing the tape to make sure he gets it right. Chance for me once again to remind you, I hope you have no plans, and if you do, you might want to change them. We have our second game this afternoon in Group B. Pampa Norte against Santa Rita, coming to you also, of course, here from Jan Pamela Polo Fields, and as always on Chukker TV. Make sure you tune in for that. Tomorrow, as I said, the start of the 50,000 World Cup. Grand Champions Polo Club, of course, the host of this very, very prestigious tournament, a super tournament to watch. You want to tune in on that one. And then Wednesday morning, the action continues with the WPL. where we have, again, a Group A and a Group B game starting at 10:30 in the morning, and again, a game in the afternoon. That challenge overruled, as Casablanca very much thought it would be the case, as Juan Martinero now will be looking to put his next mark on this game. Looking for goal number 8, and there it is, no mistake. Juan Martinero with a total of 3 goals scored now. Puts his team back into that 2-goal cushion, 12 goals to 8. The clock now, of course, ticking away. No mercy as they come back to the centre. Let's hope that White Birch can win the throw-in, and we have a exciting and thrilling end to this, which has been overall not only, like I say, a very fair, but a very exciting and at times very, very fast game. We've seen great goals scored by Tocolino. Tocolino at the moment leading that tally with a total of 7 goals. Bato Castagnola also with 7 goals to his name. And White Birch, like I say, with the last 3 minutes left to play in this chukker, have it all to do. Again, being pushed. And you know, of course, you don't want a bit of bad luck by not taking that ball round. They still have possession. There's the pass out to the left-hand side. But beaten to it once again, Castagnola. Also, as we've said, Castagnola and Casablanca very quick to just change positions, sending defenders back up front and attackers back to defence. Another whistle on that play. It's getting a little bit patchy now. Casablanca just want to get the job done, and then I'm pretty sure enjoy a tasty lunch, which of course is the time we all have, especially you at home, between this game and then of course the next game this afternoon, 3 o'clock local WPL Florida time. Steve, tell us a bit more. What's been what's going on over there at the moment?
Well, we had a little right-of-way violation over there against Casablanca, so it's going to be a penalty 5A from the point of the infraction in favor of White Birch. Time's ticking down, so they need a goal here very quickly. Time is not on their side, but with Casablanca with a 2-goal cushion, let's see what Tocolino can do on this penalty 5A from the spot.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Very, very important now to make the most of any kind of possession that White Birch can have. It's in the jaws of the goal mouth, but Casablanca very much alert here and very much looking alive. Do not want to give away anything. Bellini, as we said just now, Bellini, the attacking player, now finds himself back in defence. He will take that ball for a little walk, getting it away from the goal mouth, but he's got a man on straight away. Tocolino will want to try and win it back. White Birch now fighting hard to regain possession. It's left for Facundo Llorente. Well, I've got to say, Steve, they're not hitting the ball as clean and as crisp and as precise, above all, as they did in the first half. Challenge there from Mariano Aguirre. The umpires are not having any of it as Casablanca open things up and get things going again, trying to find their way in the half of White Birch. 1 minute and 40-odd seconds left to play in chukker number 6. And Casablanca once again. Bellini, he was over at the back just a few moments ago playing a very solid defender, and now back at front wanting that ball, wanting to get his 3rd, if he could, game of the match. Chris Brandt has his ball taken off him there by Juan Martinero. Would have been nice to have seen Chris Brandt run away with it, but the horsepower just wasn't there as Juan Martinero came out on a flyer, challenged him, and Castagnola. I'm sure you will have had a little look at the scoreboard, and this is how you dismantle a defending team or a defence on a team. Ganzi does everything right, picks it up on the near side. Still Ganzi, now the 2 young guns. And there is the shot to goal from Juancito. Maybe should have taken a second or two. No, it's gone through. It has gone through. It looked like it might have just gone wide. The goal judge there indicating it had gone through the goal. I'm glad that you said that, Mark, because to me it very much looked like it had gone wide. But with the remaining 37 seconds, I think that Casablanca will be happy. A very productive morning at the office here for Casablanca, getting off to the best start you could wish for in the Palm Beach Open. Remember, it is an open tournament. But I've got to say, White Birch gave them a good run for their money, did very, very well. Toccolini on the far side there, I can see he's just waiting for a fresh mount. Of course, these ponies having worked so hard. And that again is the horsemanship that is required to know when your pony just needs to be taken out of the action here. Plenty of horses, of course, for the players to choose from. They'll be bringing out all of their machines as Toccolini will get back on the pony on the far corner there. A little bit of shade and a slight little breeze, I'm sure very much appreciated by the players. 37 seconds left to play. 2 goals in it. Casablanca, as I say, did everything, I'm sure, the way their coach will have advised them to. Held back a little bit in that first half, then turn up the heat in the second half. And 7 goals in total for Castagnola, 3 for Juan Martinero, 2 for Juancito Bellini. As White Birch have the hit in, but they've got to take the ball all the way up the field, and they need to score 2 very quick goals. There is the horn suggesting, of course, 30 seconds left to play, and Casablanca have it. And I'm sure they will do anything they can just to keep the ball in the half where they want it. Juancito will, I'm sure, put the finishing touches on what has been a great performance here by Casablanca. Juancito Bellini getting his 3rd of the morning. 13 goals to 10, the last few seconds of this 6th and final chukker. And I think, well, I heard a second horn, but they're going to call it a game. So Casablanca, congratulations to Grant Ganzi, Juancito Bellini getting the finishing goal there on what has been a superb game. Barto Castagnola, as I said, with a total of 7 goals scored to him. Juan Martinero also with a goal. Hope you've enjoyed the action as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. So we will leave you with these pictures, and just, of course, a quick reminder that the action continues this afternoon. Also here at Jan Pamela, Group B, we will have Pampa Norte against Santa Rita. Time for you to get a bit of lunch, and then make sure you tune in on Chucker TV this afternoon, 3 o'clock, coming to you here from Southern Florida, the WPL. Thank you.